Hi, I'm Sarah Noble, your host for the Modern Day Intuitive Podcast. For over 25 years, I've been on a spiritual journey, searching, learning, expanding, and growing. I've traveled the world, led by my heart, on a quest to know myself so that I can support others. This podcast was created from my deep desire to help you connect with your intuition and to inspire you to create a life where the impossible becomes possible and you live into your sacred dreams and desires. Thanks for being here and enjoy the show. Hello, my loves. I hope and wish that you had a beautiful holiday if you celebrate Christmas. And just a wonderful holiday season in general. I just love this time of year. And the thing I love most about it is connecting with the people that I love and doing things that I love. And speaking of things I love, I'm very excited to share with you that Alchemy, a School for the Soul, has launched a new self-study program. It's a 12-week journey to deepen your intuition and your spiritual practices. It includes intuitive guidance exploration, shamanic journeying and mythology, ceremony and ritual, dream medicine, spirit guides, energy medicine practices, meditations, so many things for you to dive deep into all things intuitive. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can explore this more. And for our call today, Hema is coming to us wondering about her career. She feels stuck. And she's also launching a health coaching practice on the side. And she's looking for some guidance on how to move forward and how best to support herself from this place. Our reading touches on anxiety and ways to understand it, meditation and spiritual practices to develop your intuition, loving all of your emotions rather than wishing them away. The energy that you are doing things from is way more important than what you are actually doing. How showing up as who you truly are creates a path of ease. Why nurturing yourself first is the most important thing and part of your day. And then we dive into your dreams and how they relate to your intuition. So enjoy my beautiful and rich episode with Hema. Namaste. Hi, Hema. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. Nice to be with you today. My main question today would be around my career at the moment. I feel I'm stuck, but on the side, I am sort of doing like a health coaching business and launching that. I'm just wondering if there's any messages or support or advice or anything for me out there.
Thank you. Are you feeling nervous right now?
A little, yeah.
Okay. Because what you're showing me is like your heart chakra and your root chakra. And there's nervousness. And I'm just wondering, are you nervous just about exploring this, or is there something deeper going on?
So honestly speaking, I always have this heavy feeling in my chest area. It's constant. It feels like anxiety, but I feel there's something deeper. I don't know if that sounds like probably what you're referring to.
Okay, yeah. What do you know about that?
It's just constantly there. It's like a heavy weight on my chest from when I wake up to when I sleep. And I feel also my breaths are quite short, like that long breath is not there. Only when I'm aware of it, then I'm thinking, okay, wow, I'm always breathing like this.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how long you remember this happening. Like, was it when you were a child you felt this way? Did it happen more in your adult life?
I feel it was when I became a mother. I feel because of the added responsibilities all of a sudden, and I always felt I should be doing this, or I should be doing this. And then it almost goes away once my kids are asleep. It's strange. So there's like an attachment, like an anxiety attached to my kids. It's like that. It feels that way.
What are the thoughts that go with this feeling?
Like you said, it's nervousness, it's fear. And it's almost like an obstacle to living a fuller life, or a life that I should be living.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering if you have a connection to, like, you feel the sensations. I hear that. And I'm wondering what thoughts are thinking inside your head throughout the day, right? As you're saying, like, it goes away when your children go to sleep. So there's something you're thinking. There's a thought pattern that's happening. And I'm wondering if you have awareness of what that might be.
Gosh, because I've had it so long, I don't know if I can pinpoint it to one thought pattern. I'm trying to think. I really can't pinpoint it down.
No worries.
Which is scary, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. The body is so wise, right? These emotions that you're holding, this anxiety, there's so much wisdom in there for you. Would you be open to just breathing into that and seeing what happens for a moment?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so if you close your eyes and feel that sensation in your chest and feel the shortness of breath that's happening. And then just like sink into it as if it were a soft bed with pillows and a down comforter, and just let yourself sink into there and just let me know what happens.
It's quite a strong feeling, I feel. It's, like it's consolidated over time, and it's almost become a part of me. I feel I don't know how to get rid of it. It's almost become part of me.
Well, the beautiful thing is, my love, you don't have to get rid of it. Right? It's part of you. It serves a purpose. It's here. It's really just loving you.
Okay.
And how I love to be with these places is just to give them more love, to welcome them, to turn towards them, right? The more we try to get rid of something, especially something that is here to tell us something and to show us something, it digs its heels in even deeper. It's like, I'm not going anywhere because I love you too much. And I want you to hear me.
Okay.
So if this feeling, this hard sensation that's here, what might it have to say to you if you ask?
The first thing I got was take it easy, take a break. Don't take it all seriously.
Does that feel true for you?
I think so, yeah.
So I'm wondering, as we're with this part, and I know you had asked about your career, and this was what came forward. So with those words, right? Like slow down, take it easy, take a break. What do you see about your career from that place?
To try and enjoy it more and see the good side of it rather than the negative side of it.
What else?
Just to slow down, and it's not like a rat race. Just slow down.
Do you like the work that you do?
Not my main job currently, no. So that's why I'm doing something on the side, which I'm trying to work on when I can.
And is that the health coaching piece?
Yes.
Okay.
But then sometimes with the health coaching piece, I have doubts about that when things are not working or I'm not able to sign clients. I'm thinking, is this what I should be doing? It should be coming easy to me, and shouldn't be an effort for me. But I am finding it an effort sometimes. But I don't know if that's because of my perspective of it. So yeah, it's all very confusing sometimes.
Yeah, I get that. When you say it's an effort, What does that mean for you? What does that look like?
It feels like what I should be advising or the content I should be providing, it doesn't come easily to me, or I don't have the time. I wish that I could do it.
So if it was easy, how would it look?
Just like second nature to me. I'd sit down and something would just, flow. And also I'd get the engagement. I'm currently not getting the engagement that I'm looking for, or some sort of validation from my network or community. So it's almost like I'm posting every day without anything coming back. So it's going unchecked in a way.
Yeah, you're caught in a loop. So from my perspective of how things work, it's not really about what you say. It's about who you're being. So if you're being the person who is efforting and is upset and frustrated with themselves because the words aren't flowing the way you want, and then you're putting that, you could be saying the most amazing thing, but the energy that it's attached to it is your frustration and your shoulding of yourself. And so energetically, that's not pulling what you would love.
Right.
And I get the sense that you're really hard on yourself, just listening the way that you're saying things. Like, would you agree with that?
I try not to be, but I think I can. I feel like this pressure of every day I should be posting something. And when there's that pressure, you sort of lose the creativity. So that's the part I don't like. But then I think that's the nature of the beast with social media. You kind of have to be present. And I don't think I'm just a fan of that sort of marketing or selling myself like that. It doesn't come from, a place of truth.
And I love that you know that and recognize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The world is going to tell you that you have to do things a certain way. And then there's what you know to be true.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And what I also experience about the world is that when you do what you love, you live in a very different world than when you do what you think you should have or have to or should, or other people tell you you're supposed to be doing. Because we're here to be the truth of who we are. So the more you show up for you in the way that you want to, things are going to be a lot less effort, a lot less stress, a lot less anxiety. I'm wondering too, right? Like what's threading back in here is about the way that you're mothering. There's a lot of shoulding that you were saying when you were talking about mothering. And so I'm wondering if in this place as well, that you're doing what other people say you should do rather than what your heart really knows.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How to find out what the heart wants or what I truly, genuinely, authentically should be doing? How do I ask within?
Well, what are your spiritual practices? Like, how do you know yourself and be with yourself?
I'm not really doing as much as I'd like. I'd love to be meditating, but I tend to procrastinate slightly.
Yeah, when we get busy, we tend to put all our self-care, especially as mothers, right? And entrepreneurs, and we're out there and we're just holding the world on our shoulders. And we forget that it's so important that we nurture ourselves first and we fill our own cup so that then we can give from the excess rather than give from the depleting.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So with how we hear and follow our heart is that we have to give to ourselves first. We have to put on our own oxygen mask before we put on our child's. And it is, I've said this quote a number of times on this podcast and I just love it. It's if you can't find 5 minutes to meditate, then meditate for 10.
I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah, it just says it right there. Like, put yourself first, because then you create time, you create space, you create energy. All of these things are created from you loving yourself.
Are there any specific meditations you recommend?
There is a wide variety of things. For me, I'm thinking like when I was learning more or being more like dedicated to meditation, I like to listen to guided meditations. I really love the Insight Timer app. There's a lot of teachers on there, including myself, and a lot of guided meditations that can help you, learn and settle in and have something to come back to. I also love Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has some really great meditations. I mean, there's so many people out there. There's also just basic meditations where you just sit and watch your breath. And for me, how I experience meditation, it's about finding your connection and relationship to the divine, to source, to spirit, to your higher self. And for me, that is where I like to play in meditation. It's with my energy. It's with my connection to who I am as a divine being and my higher power, my God, whichever word, works for you. But it's about creating that relationship, because most of us just have a relationship with our mind.
Right.
And it runs around all day doing what it's good at, right? Like the mind is so amazing at thinking. And it's really beautiful to come into the body, to be with that feeling that's in your chest. It wants you. It wants attention. Right? Like it's like, please don't run away from me again today. And so being with that sensation in your chest, that's a beautiful meditation. 5 minutes, just entirely focusing on the sensation in your chest and this heaviness and the anxiety, listening, forming a relationship with it.
Okay. So like you were saying, you don't want to remove it. You want to be with it more.
Yeah. And then it will decide if it wants it. What will happen is, right, it will change. It will shift. Once you have listened to it and heard it, its job will now change. And so things happen sort of magically, like they disappear, they change into something else. They bring you all this energy that you didn't even realize was being kept from you in this place. So you transmute it, right? I feel it in my body as I'm talking about it for you. Like right now, you have this abundance of energy that is just being used to hold this feeling. And that energy can be used for something different. Once you shift the relationship inside you, you free up that energy to use for something that you would love.
Sounds amazing.
It is, yeah. Yeah, and you have the power to do that, right? Like that's how amazing you are.
Okay. So just sitting there with it and just listening and...
Yeah, letting it love you.
Okay.
What other questions do you have? Because we've sort of taken as I said before, spirit leads the conversation. So we've gone around the mulberry bush. And where are you landing? Like what would you love?
To be more intuitive, definitely. Also to be more authentically me. I feel sometimes I may change depending on the company I'm with, but I want to be true to me. And I think that may start with loving myself more and being happy with myself. I don't know another way to put that.
Yeah, I hear you. I know what you mean.
Mm.
It's like it's turning towards yourself and not abandoning yourself in those moments, right? When, say, you're in this room and there's these people and you find yourself changing to be more like them or to gain their approval or whatever the motivation is, right? That it comes from such a sweet and tender part of us. And what that sweet and tender part wants is our eyes on it, our love, instead of the turning away from it, trying to be something that we're not. But in those moments where we feel that shift inside us of going outward for the validation, where we have a practice where we just remember, we catch ourselves. Oh, there I am playing out an unconscious program of needing these people's approval.
Yeah.
Let me just be with you, tender, sweet part.
Yeah.
And then you had said, be more intuitive.
Yeah.
And you are intuitive. We are all incredibly intuitive. In my experience, what happens is our intuition just gets covered up by our stories, by our programming, by our responsibilities. And they just kind of cover it up.
Yeah.
And the journey is peeling back the layers, allowing that part of us to come back alive in our life.
And again, is that through meditation, just being quiet and listening?
Well, that's one piece of the beautiful puzzle that is our life. And it's what you're talking about. It's that authentic self, right? When you are being true to you, living the life that your soul is calling you to live, then your intuition grows inside there. It's like a muscle, right? Like if you haven't gone to the gym for a while, or you've never, say, running, right? If you haven't run a half marathon before, you need to practice and train those muscles to be able to have the capacity to go that distance. And with the intuition, it's very similar, especially for those of us where it's gotten buried over our lifetime. It's just atrophied. So practices are looking for signs, right? Throughout your day, your spirit family is always trying to connect with you through synchronicity. Yeah. And so looking for those, right? Really tuning in to where those synchronistic moments are and recognizing that that's your intuition.
Right.
It's choosing you over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's studying, right? I feel like learning more about intuition. Like, what does it mean? What are my intuitive gifts? What are the clairs? How do they play a part in my life? Like really learning is another really great way to strengthen that muscle. And trusting yourself, really having this relationship where you trust yourself. You don't second guess yourself. When you feel that little intuitive hit, because I know you feel them, you trust it. You don't negate it, or I'm too busy, or oh, that can't possibly be so, or oh, that story that wants to come in for you. Right? You just say, no, I trust you. And you take a step in the direction. You listen. How's that resonating?
Feels good. Yeah. How about speaking to spirit guides?
Do you like speaking to your spirit guides?
Yeah, I do try to.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way. And you can ask them questions.
Yeah, I tend to ask them before I sleep. So I get some messages, but then I never remember the dreams.
So let's change that right now. From this moment forward, you remember your dreams.
Like literally say it out loud, right?
Yeah, say it.
I remember my dreams.
Yeah. And what I do is I have a journal that is right by my bed, like next to me, so I don't have to go, searching for it. And the moment I wake up, I put my pen on the paper and I write the dream, because otherwise they do disappear. They just kind of go off and I'm like, oh gosh, come back.
Yeah, they literally do. Like you only remember the last 2 seconds and then it's very strange.
Well, it's your, the unconscious and the subconscious bringing things up for you. And what I have found that if you really do want to remember your dreams and you claim that you remember them, and then the moment you get up, you write that 2-second part that you remember, the rest of the dream starts to come back. And if you let the pen flow, the dream will start coming back. Sometimes for me, it happens so fast, I have to jot down some notes in order to be able to because all the information starts coming back in that moment.
Yeah.
So, and that is a beautiful, beautiful path to deepen and strengthen your intuition is through the dream world.
Yeah. But then how to sift between the subconscious and the unconscious dreams? I feel some of my dreams are just like useless. They're just scenes, but then there's nothing of relevance that I can find.
So my understanding, right, the unconscious is more of what we share, right? Like it's the deep unconscious of everything. And then the subconscious is where our programs live.
Okay.
So that's a lot of the programs that are running in the background that we don't even realize, right? Our triggers, our patterns, our thoughts, all that. So when you're accessing through dreams, spirit speaks through metaphor a lot, through symbols. It's not sort of specific like the way that our life is, or though as I say that, our whole life is a metaphor, right? Like when we're tuned in, we notice the symbols. So say there's a scene and it looks really mundane. Know that the sacred is threaded through the mundane. It always is. And so if it's maybe a room, look at the furniture that's in the room, look at the people in the room, what's on the walls, like connect in with what archetypes could be playing out. Like there's a lot that's in there if we shift our focus to what is sacred in here. What am I not seeing because I'm just looking at the mundane?
Amazing. Very interesting.
I know I've been doing a lot of dream work lately. So I love that we are, bringing this, threading this through, because it is a very rich, and I think it's like important. I have learned a lot about my life through my dreams that I didn't realize was there.
Wow. Okay. I'll be keeping a dream journal tonight for sure, and beyond.
Well, what are you taking away from our call today?
Number one, to make time for meditation. I think that's on top of my list. Also, to just take it easy, relax, and not take everyday tasks so seriously. And I'm also going to focus on I feel the chest feeling I really need to connect with. I've been ignoring it for a long, long time now, but I need to just check in and look towards it and see what is there. Definitely.
Yeah, I think you'll find there are a lot of rich answers in there that will be very insightful as you move on your journey. Does this feel like an okay place to land today?
Yeah, feels good.
Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you for being here today and making your personal and spiritual growth a priority in your life. To learn more about connecting with your dreams and your intuition so that you can create a life full of possibilities, visit me at www.sarahnoble.com and see how we can create magic together. A big thank you from my heart to yours for making the planet a better place for us all.